Hey guys, well, welcome again to another episode of Human Brains 2.0. And today I'm so delighted to be with Jerry Frentsos. He is an amazing, author, Olympic champion. I mean, there's a lot of things I can say about you, but I want to introduce you first. So tell us a little bit about what makes you really, when we talk about the human brain and the capacity of the human brain, right, and how special it can be. What makes you an expert in this area? Tell us about that. Tell them about your book and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a I guess probably for me the easiest way to jump into a question like that is I've set 20 world records over 4 decades. So to set a world record is it's I'm proud of all those,
Yeah.
but it's an accomplishment that people just think I go to the pool for swimming for world records my sport of swimming. So people think I go to the pool and I swim for like hours on end, and I just keep training and training and training. But to set a world record, that's probably the most important, but the least aspect of being able to do that, because you have to. There's a lot of management physical, and there's a lot of management emotional and mental, because you have to be able to mentally prepare for a physical workout. So if I feel that I don't have it physically, then I make sure that workout becomes more of a mental workout than a physical workout. And sometimes I feel I may not have it mentally, then I go into that workout as this is going to be a real physical challenge workout. And I try to turn off my brain as much as possible. So sometimes my brain is on, fully activated, and sometimes it is completely turned off. So the skill to be able to do that is I have to have a lot of things go right for me. One of the biggest things is that, like, so swimming, if I swim for 90 minutes, that's only about 6% of my day. What I feel is probably one of the most important part of my day is sleep, is how I sleep and how I recover. If I am sleep deprived, I know that day is going to be more mentally challenging than anything else, because I just know that I'm going to be, everybody knows that feels like that, being in a fog, that sleep inertia, you just carry it through the whole day. So when I feel that mentally, I make sure that my next couple nights of sleep really become the priority. And so for sleep to become the priority, so in my book, I have this, what I call a sleep horizon line, which means is the more you physically and mentally move yourself above a horizon line during the day, you'll actually sleep deeper at night. So I make sure that if I'm mentally fogged, I make sure that I really work out my body and tax my body physically, so that way I know that physical exertion is going to create a deeper sleep. So that's how I combat that, is that I make sure that sleep is probably my number one priority.
Wow, I love it. I am.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm curious about two things as I heard you talking. So how do you make a workout more mentally? I mean, turning off during a workout, I can almost see, right? But how do you do that? How do you make a workout more mentally challenging or more physically challenging, or physically focused, I would say? How do you do that?
So any type of sport or anything that you do takes physical skill. So I have to be able to swim my strokes as efficiently as possible. I have to make sure my flip turns and my turns are all at a high level of skill. So if I know that I physically are going to have a bit of because sometimes there's workouts where I can cause more harm than good. So what I try to do is, if I know that I'm going into a practice where I'm going to cause more physical harm than good, then I do that workout where I'm working on my turns, I'm working on my start, I'm working on the skill aspect of my sport. Without the skill aspect of my sport, there's no way I would ever set a world record. And if I'm always stuck in that one mode of training, well, I still need the physical aspects of my training to also kick in. So I need both, but I'm very aware and I'm very alert to how I'm going into a specific workout. So I have this preconceived type of what I'm going to do for my workout. But if things aren't matching, I'll quickly adapt and I'll quickly change to what my body is actually telling me to do. My body will send me messages all the time. Physically, you don't have it today. So it's a mental workout. And then sometimes it's like mentally, you don't have it today. So then it's a physical workout. So I have to be able to take my body and my brain and make those adjustments quickly, because I won't know that until after like a 20 to 30 minute warm up. Then I'm like, okay, what do you got today for me? And that's when I make a decision. So I basically have 2 workouts set up in my head. And then let my body tell me which one I'm going to do. And so that's how that's kind of the secret of how I can set a world record. I mean, I've set world records for I've set a world record over the 4 decades, over the 4 decades.
I love that. So tell us a little more about that, because you are truly an expert in that. You also, you've done several things professionally as well, right? So tell us a little bit about that world record. Why did you do that? Why did you get there? And then how did you get there? And with so many, not just one world, but many.
Yeah. So I'm also a sports nutritionist, and a lot of people ask me, what is more important, the nutrition or exercise? Well, it's, to me, even as a sports nutritionist, as a dietitian, as a nutritionist, all that fun stuff, exercise is still above everything else. So, because if I can't do the exercise, obviously I can't swim fast enough to set a world record. But my nutrition is extremely important. And where I pay my most attention to the nutrition is I also listen to what my gut is telling me. So the gut health is extremely important, because when I'm doing really high intensity type of exercises, I don't feel it in my lungs. I don't feel it in my muscles. The first place I feel it is in my gut. My gut will give me an answer very quickly. Because if my gut is healthy, it will produce. So this is the strange thing, is if your diet and your nutrition is I'm not gonna say spot on, but is really good, your gut bacteria will actually produce they actually poop out hormones, and one of those hormones that I need is dopamine. So dopamine is going to provide the motivation to be able to do certain things that I do. So if my gut is not healthy, I'm going to actually have a lack of motivation. But when my gut is healthy and the gut bacteria is actually producing the dopamine that I need to keep my motivation as high as possible, that's when I know I'm doing things correctly. And there's also the other side to it is the dopamine will charge me up and get me ready for a great workout. But then my gut bacteria will also produce serotonin. So when the serotonin is also being produced, I get this high level of performance and this level of calm at the same time. So when I'm highly motivated and calm at the same time, I know I'm going to have a good workout. And so every time I have a good workout, that's where I know everything is working. My nutrition is working, my gut bacteria is working, my sleep is working, my positive thoughts are working. And then after all that is taken care of, that's when I can set a world record. If I'm missing any of those, setting a world record is going to be very difficult. But I also use those philosophies or that way of life to get me through work, to get me through my relationship with my kids, relationship with family members and friends and all that. So when I'm firing on all like those 4 aspects, to be honest, life is pretty easy and life is pretty good. So a lot of people like, oh, life is such a struggle, and it's so the struggle is real. And I'm like, it's very rare that I ever feel that way. And if I do, then I just stop and I'm like, okay, what am I struggling with? And so then I go back and I try to fix then I just simply go through a little mental checkbox. It's like, oh yeah, my nutrition the last couple of days, I really have been low on my fiber intake. So I really need to start bumping up my fiber intake. And then all of a sudden my gut bacteria, sometimes I can actually feel the sense of relief through my gut when I get my hydration and my fiber intake, when I get that up to where it should be. And once I do, then I'm like, okay, that's what's missing.
I'm curious, because yeah, you've set those world records, and now you've also made a book, right? So for the book that you've written, right, tell us a little about that. Is that written for, is that for people who want to set a world record, or
So
for anybody?
no, so that's the thing. So the book is not set for somebody who wants to set a world record. So the title of the book is called Intentionally Well. And then the subtitle is How to Maximize the Economy of Your Health. So the how to maximize the economy of your health, I'm using that to set world records. I'm using that through work and everything else that I do. So how to maximize the economy of your health is, the book is about how to sleep better, how to protect your sleep, how to set up your sleep. So the difficult part about the book is a book is linear. A book is word from word to word to word. Mm-hmm. But there are like 11 topics in the book that I have to discuss that do not work in a linear fashion. So what's more important? Is sleep more important than nutrition? To some people, it might be. Is nutrition more important than your mental health? Some people, it might be. Is your relationships more important than hydration status? To some people, it might be. So in the book, it's all of those things that work together that just help you maximize whatever you're trying to do. So if you're just trying to live better, the book is just, it moves through all the topics on how to make small corrections and adjustments to each one. So, and what I like about what I'm proud of about in the book is I don't do it with, there's no controversy, there's no shaming, there's no demands that you have to do this, you have to take notes, and you have to do, like, everybody thinks when they eat a cookie, they have to run an extra 3 miles to burn off the cookie. It's just like, no, you had a cookie, enjoy the cookie. There is no extra 3 miles to run because you ate a cookie. And in some cases that cookie can help you, and in some cases that cookie can hurt you. But for some reason, there's a reason why you're eating the cookie. And I actually explain that in the book. And there's a thing where I call the dopamine cookie song, which can present what I call a false positive. Your body is trying to get you to do something, to make a correction, but unfortunately it becomes the wrong correction. So that's where emotional eating and things like that come into play. And then when emotional eating is the main resolve, then all of a sudden your overall mental health starts to become affected by it as well. So I have like a sugar monster story, dopamine cookie song, the hidden traps of emotional eating, they're in there as well. So yes, it is not about how to set a world record. It's just how to perform better.
I think, Jerry, we could probably talk for 3 hours because everything is in the book, because there's a lot in the book, right? And I think it's a phenomenal book. I'm curious, as well, first of all, I would love to see where can people get the book, right? So let's give some references. We're also putting it in the comments down below so people know where to get your book. I'm curious, going into the future, what do you want, right? You've already done so many things in your life. So what's kind of the goal moving forward in your life? And tell us where to get the book and how to get in touch with you.
So to get the book is on my website, liveintentionallywell.com. And right now you can reserve a copy. So the book is at the printers, and I'm hoping that it's going to be shipped to me on July 22nd. And then I'm actually going to have a book launch at the end of my driveway. So I can get you that information. I'm hoping that once I have the books in hand, it'll be August 2nd between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Just because of the whole COVID situation, social distancing, mask, I'm going to set it up to where it's kind of a drive-through book launch. So unfortunately, the social interaction is, I am going to limit that to make sure everybody stays protected. But I still would like to have an opportunity to say hi to my friends and say hi to people that are going to purchase the book in person, or you can go onto my website and get it there. So that's how I'm setting that up right now. To answer your second question, my goals for what I want, basically, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I want to keep living the way I'm living. So it's really just to continue the habits that I've set up for myself. That it's my training. It's fun. It's tedious, but it's fun. the going through, getting ready to set a world record, it's tedious, but it's fun. Setting a world record, it's tedious, but it's fun. Living well is sometimes it can be tedious, but I feel that I do it well. And so it's just a matter of trying to get that message out there, is that there are just a few things that you can make corrections to in your life that will allow you to basically live intentionally well.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about the title of the book, is because it's an action title. It's just something that you just don't read a book and then put it down. You read the book, and then hopefully the idea is that you then go out and live the book, because it's an action that you have to do every day. But it's not a hard action. It's not that difficult. So it just sounds weird that I just enjoy the training. I enjoy everything in my day that allows me to do what I've been doing. To me,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm curious if you have like to kind of close this interview out, right? And absolutely, I mean, let's go for that book launch. That sounds like a phenomenal time to actually learn about the book. And then get the book, right, too. I'm curious though, for anybody who's listening and they want to do one thing today, one thing that can change something about living intentionally well like this. So what would be one tip that you could give people today that they could do today?
So probably the biggest message that I like in the book is what serotonin will do for you mentally, and what it does for you physically. Because everybody knows that, or most people know that serotonin, 95% of your serotonin is in your gut and 5% is in your brain. But everybody talks about being positive thoughts. So positivity increases mood, and then mood increases positivity. And both of those, it's a kind of a two-way street, and both those will build serotonin. So once you start building serotonin, it protects your gut, and serotonin then will protect your brain mentally and protect your thoughts. So even though people are like, oh, it's celebrate the positivity in life and have these positive thoughts, there's real science behind it. It actually alters the way your brain moves through the day, and it makes thinking easier, and it makes you can think faster. And once you start thinking faster, the speed of thought, you start to accelerate that, solutions show up a lot faster. So I have an example in the book of what happened one day when I got locked out of my house, is that I didn't panic. I got locked out of my house when it was 11 degrees outside, and I didn't panic. And I realized, like, if I panicked and I started to stress about it, I know there's a solution somewhere in my head. So when I stayed calm, even though I was starting to get very cold, a solution instantly popped into my head. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember. Okay. And then I was back in my house within 5 minutes because I stayed calm and I didn't stress about the situation. And then all of a sudden my speed of thought allowed me to come up with a solution instantly. And I was back in my house.
Nice.
So that's probably the biggest thing is, yes, positive thoughts can really change your day and can change your life. So when I'm behind the blocks, getting ready to set a world record, yes, there's a lot of positive thought in there. Oh, and so some world records have been super easy, and some have been difficult, and I've missed some. But looking back, the ones that have been super easy, everything was on. My mental thoughts were on, my training was on, my nutrition was on, hydration, sleep, it was just on, and those were easy world records. The ones that I struggled with is there was something off somewhere, and I paid for it.
Right. I love the idea of positive thoughts. And I'm all about the brain too. So the whole idea of serotonin and dopamine, I mean, that's what I'm all about too. So thank you so much for this interview. This has been wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations on your book. I mean, I'm so excited that it's coming out soon. And for anybody else who's listening, please comment questions down below and share this. If there's somebody in your life needs to hear this. So if it isn't you, then somebody else needs to hear this. So please share it with somebody you love and care about. All right. Thanks so much, Jerry, for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.